Don't take the bait. Don't take the clickbait. Don't you? Okay, fine. We're going to do it. Travis Hunter didn't have a better season than Cam Newton in 2010. That's not reality. Zach, why on a Friday? We're doing this on a Friday. I don't know when you're watching, but why on a Friday are we bringing? It's going to raise my blood pressure. It's going to get me upset. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, Zach?
Fox Sports
Yeah.
put out an article and a graphic that went semi-viral on socials. What are the top 10 Heisman seasons of all time? Which is a worthy question. This came out a few days ago, responding to Travis Hunter. And, Fox has been very high on Travis Hunter throughout the year, which is fine. I probably would have voted Travis Hunter if I had a Heisman ballot. I probably would have voted for him. I think so. So, this isn't an anti-Travis Hunter.
Correct.
But what drives me crazy about stuff like this is the byline on the Fox Sports website is Fox Sports Research. So, nobody's even owning this.
Yeah.
Nobody's even owning this list.
Does that mean it's AI? Does that mean that it was AI created? Or was it some intern in the research department that decided to throw him a bone and go, why don't you put together the list, we'll publish it?
I don't know. Number one's Barry Sanders.
Sure.
Which, okay.
Single season rushing record all time. Great.
Whatever. Not really going to push back against that.
No.
Joe Burrow, too. I get it. Don't agree, but I totally get the argument. I think Cam should be higher than Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Am I objective on this? Probably not entirely, but Joe Burrow had all-pro NFL
metric. Fine. And they did win something. They won the national championship.
Sure.
And they didn't really have a lot of close games. They didn't have to come from behind to do it. I can make look, and
incredible team. Incredible team.
Sure.
Historically good team was the 2019 LSU Tigers.
And I am illogically biased toward Cam on this, but if you want to make that argument for Joe Burrow,
whatever.
I will entertain
I'm not
that
pushing
argument.
back.
Fine.
Disagree, not pushing back. So, okay.
That's
Barry Sanders 1, Joe Burrow 2, Cam 3. Okay, that's fine. Oh, wait, it's not Cam Newton at 3. It's Travis Hunter at 3.
Yeah. No.
No. He needs to be behind Lamar. He needs to be behind Tebow. I think he needs to be behind Johnny Manziel.
He needs to be behind Charles Woodson.
Okay. Yeah.
Charles Woodson's Michigan team won the title. They didn't lose.
There's a lot of this. What Travis Hunter did this past season is incredible. I think he's an incredible athlete. No question about it. I think he was dynamic. And I also think both he personally, as well as Colorado, as well as his head coach, as well as national media, did an incredible job pumping him up. And he was deserving of it. He was deserving of the praise.
Yeah.
But also, if a quarterback had stepped up and played a full season at a high level, they would have given it to him. Like if Jalen Miller hadn't fallen off the face of the earth, they would have given it to him. If Cam Ward hadn't fallen off the face of the earth, they would have given it to him over Travis Hunter. And to me, it's like you can't have him as the number 3 Heisman all time because he didn't really beat out a good quarterback. I think that's important.
If 2010 Cam Newton had played, if you could combine this season and 2010, and Auburn does what it does, and Cam does what he did and wins the national championship, and Auburn has its 2010 season, and Travis has his 2024 season, Cam Newton wins the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, like 10 times out of 10.
It's not a close vote.
Now, then I think the conversation shifts to like, well, is it because he was a quarterback? Does it always need to go to a quarterback? Sure, whatever. But Cam didn't lose a game if we're talking about transposing seasons. And I do think that matters.
The quarterback does touch the ball every snap, and Cam rushed a ridiculous amount, passed for a ridiculous amount, caught a touchdown pass, led multiple comebacks. I mean, it's you've got a quarterback award, and you make the argument that maybe the Heisman award is too quarterback centric. And maybe it
probably is, but also not everybody who's voting for these watches every game.
Yeah.
Also, Is it good for the Heisman or not that it has become a quarterback award for the most part? I don't know. That could be a discussion for another day. But to say
Cam didn't win the Heisman.
Go ahead.
Cam didn't win the Heisman because he was a quarterback. He won the Heisman because he's the best player in college football by far at any position that year.
Yeah.
I mean, Ndamukong Suh was in the discussion the year before at Nebraska. He was like the highest defensive lineman to, ever finish in the Heisman voting.
Probably should have won it.
Probably.
It's dynamic. Yeah. So once again, like, did Travis Hunter have a top 10 Heisman season? Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
3?
No.
I don't know.
Too high.
I don't know.
We're kicking off list season in an upsetting way. I don't care for it.
I wish there was somebody we could credit this to.
No.
Fox Sports Research. Own it.
You know what?
Make a list like this. You need to own it.
This a team of guys and gals in the back. They're young. They're interns. They're just like, you know what? Let's give them something because they've worked real hard. And let's put together a list. We'll publish it. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
There's no Archie Griffith on that either. You want it back-to-back years in runaways. Neither one of those years is on the list. People hate on Cam because of three reasons. One, he was only here for a year. Two, the scandal and the way that he carries himself now. He's very flamboyant. He's never shied away from his talent and ability. And people don't like that. So they don't give him credit.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
All right. Hey, today's show is brought to you by our friends at Roback. Roback.com is where you need to go. RHOBACK.com is where you need to go to check out all of their expansive catalog. It's borderline intimidating. I'm not going to lie to you. If you don't go in there with a plan, take some time. It's going to take some time. You're going to find some stuff that you love from, the best collared shirts in the game, quarter zips, performance hoodies, doesn't matter what it is. They've got it all, and it's super high quality, and you're gonna love it. And we don't want you to pay full price, do we, Brad?
No, we don't.
No.
They got stuff for guys, for girls. They've got performance vests. I really would we encourage you to check those out. Use promo code VICE20, VICE20, all together. Take out the promo code that's built in, put in VICE20. You're going to save 20% on everything in that cart at Roback.com.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Roback.com. Want to go ahead and kind of talk about the SEC weekend in combination with the six-pack? Is that the plan here?
Yeah, I think so. We'll kind of combine these two together. A note on Auburn, Georgia. I feel better about this Georgia game as I dive into the stats a little bit than I did. Look, last week we both came on and picked Auburn in a runaway at South Carolina, and
I'm going to do it again.
To their credit,
I'm going to do it again.
They came up big. I'm not going to pick as confidently as I picked a week ago. I'm picking Auburn to win. I think Auburn does win comfortably. But it's because the more I look at Georgia, they're 3-3 against quad 1 and 2 teams. They're 11-0 against quad 3 and 4. 11 of their wins against quad 3 and 4 teams. I think I have that right. Maybe it's 7. Let me double check this because
they're also they're 11-0 at home as well, I believe.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. Yeah, 11-0 against quads 3 and 4 this year.
Okay.
That's a lot of wins that you're stockpiling against competition that's nowhere close to what you're going to play Saturday. And I still think Auburn is motivated. I think this team carries itself, especially without Janai, with a little extra chip that it maybe didn't have until a week ago. I don't know. All those factors. Yeah, give me Auburn, and at the end of the day, probably comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, what is comfortably, right? Like, I'm thinking 8 or 9-ish when it's all said and done, and that may look like it's a 5-point game, and then they start fouling at the end, so it looks better than it actually was. Like that might be the case, but I do think
3-4 possessions at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Our fouls at the end caked into that, possibly, certainly possible. But I do think Auburn wins this game.
Fouls and turnovers will be a major factor. Georgia turns it over.
You're a major factor.
Everybody, this whole thing.
Stop it.
This whole operation is a major factor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100%.
They turn it over second most in the league. Georgia does. And that was a big factor in why they got a close game turned into a lopsided loss against Tennessee. In their win over Kentucky, they took 19 more free throws than Kentucky.
Wow.
And made 14 more in a 13-point win. So is the game called in such a way that Auburn can't get away with being handsy defensively and forcing steals and, putting pressure on their guards like they have every time out?
Yeah.
Or is it called real tight and they put Georgia at the free throw line? That's, I think, the major.
With SEC officiating, it's impossible to predict how it's going to be called. And it may change from half to half.
Right. Yeah. So that's not a projection. that's what you watch in this game is how, if they're calling it tight, not good. Because Georgia also makes among the fewest field goals a game. They're not just a major scoring team. They need free throws. They need points with the clock dead.
And I'm curious to see if Auburn does win, Georgia would start 2-3 in conference play. Another team that kind of started conference play ranked, and then all of a sudden, off to a tougher start. How much do they penalize? Is the narrative around Georgia like, oh, hold on, let's see how good they actually are? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're top 25 net right now, and it's a road game. It's a true road game. So, you don't really get hurt in that metric unless they fall a little further.
Well, you asked me this going into, I guess maybe you asked me this going into Austin, but you listed out the 9 road SEC games, and you're like, among the ones remaining, where does this one rank?
Yeah.
This one's up there. I mean, it's not ahead of Texas A&M. It's not ahead of Bama. It's not ahead of Lexington. But it's probably next, right?
You only have 7 left, including this one. So Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss.
Oh, I forgot about Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So never mind. My take is wrong. There's only 2 easier road games after the LSU, and who's the other one?
Vandy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's Alabama, Kentucky, A&M on the road.
So let me change my take. This is one of the easier road games you've got left on your schedule. You better win it.
Yep. How about that? It's all about perspective.
Perspective is a beautiful thing. You spell Village Vice backwards, you get perspective.
Yes, you do.
I thought we were jumping into the 6-pack.
We are going to jump into the 6-pack now. We're only going to do 2 basketball games, though.
Really?
We might make it a 7-pack. Are you okay with 1 extra?
Yeah, we talked about the 3 games we were going to pick.
Okay, good. So the other games in the SEC that I want to throw out there at you: Alabama at Kentucky. Top 10 in Lexington. Both teams can score like crazy. It's the 3rd time in a row that they've met in Lexington with both teams ranked, and Kentucky's won both the other meeting.
Yeah. I think there's more pressure on Alabama in this situation just because of them losing to Ole Miss and didn't really look particularly good. And I think if Ole Miss would have shot a little bit better, it would have been extremely lopsided. So I think Kentucky wins, and I think there's going to be a lot of upset people in Tuscaloosa. That is my pick.
I think Kentucky has a chance to win this big because in the second half they have leaned on so many teams early this year, and I think they have the ability to do that again. If you start forcing Alabama to press a little bit, the 3-point numbers go down, and that's what happened last time at Rupp when these two played. Alabama got down, they started pressing, and Kentucky just ran away from them. So
and I think you can score on Kentucky. Alabama can certainly score on Kentucky.
Yeah,
it's just, can they slow them down? Alabama's roster is so much better than how they're playing right now.
Agreed.
And so if Nate Oates can figure it out, Alabama's going to be scary. But based on what we saw with them against Ole Miss, I don't think they pivot quick enough on the road at Lexington. If it was in Tuscaloosa, I would take Alabama. But Lexington, different coach, different era, but still tough to win there.
A different feel, too. It's kind of a wine and cheese crowd had been under Calipari. They'd gotten a little reserved, more so than maybe stereotypically. But I think they're back. Yes, exactly. Precisely. How about Ole Miss at Mississippi State?
Wow.
How about that for a game?
Wow. Give me Ole Miss. I think they go 5-0.
Whew. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see Josh Hubbard having that type of game twice in a row.
I'm not as Mississippi State, like I'm just not high on them right now with what Auburn just did to it. We'll see. We'll see who they are.
But that has so much more to do with Auburn than it does
I hope you're
Mississippi
right.
State.
I hope you're right. We'll learn if that's true. I think a
There's-
little bit more tomorrow.
Yeah. How many times have we seen, though, Auburn start a game 10-0, 13-2 against a good team at home? We've seen it a lot. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah, fast start for sure.
All right. Let's do some NFL playoff games, shall we?
Yes.
Before we go back to
the Ravens.
We're not going to start there. We're going to go chronologically.
Okay.
All right. AFC divisional Chiefs, Texans. Do we disagree on this, or we both think the Chiefs win this one easily? More than a touchdown?
I'll pick the Texans. I don't mind picking the Texans.
Really?
Yeah, I'll pick the Texans.
Chiefs haven't lost at home.
Yeah.
Texans are barely 500 on the road.
Yeah, I'll take the Texans. Sure. Why not?
Okay. There's no repercussion. Why not? There's no consequence.
I mean, I love CJ Stroud. He's probably one of my favorite players that's not on the Patriots right now. So, yeah, I'll pull for it. Whatever. Yeah, give me CJ Stroud and the Texans.
This isn't who are you pulling for. This is who you think wins the game.
I can't pick an upset based off of if I like somebody?
But so you think they're going to win the game?
Sure.
You're a Friday liar is what
What's
you
the
are.
line? Do you have the line in front of you?
It's Chiefs 8. Chiefs -8.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would definitely take the Texans plus the points for sure.
I'm
sure.
I'm taking KC.
You have the money line in front of you?
No, I don't have it.
Okay.
All right. So I'm sorry, I'm just a little shaken by that. So to the NFC, where the Commanders are at Detroit. Washington at Detroit. Lions are 9.5-point favorites at home. You like Jaden Daniels?
I do like Jaden Daniels a lot, but I like Jared Goff too. So I'll take the line. I think the Lions win it all. I think they're. I think the Lions are. I think they have it. They have everything you want in a championship team.
They do. They do have that. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, we agree on that one. Let's go to the Sunday games. Rams at Eagles. Eagles 8-1 at home. They are 6.5-point favorites. Do we like Philly? Do we like the home team there?
Yes. Yeah, I like Philly. Don't overthink it. I think the only team that can beat Philly is Philly outside of the Lions. And that is, just give it to Saquon.
Yeah.
Take care of the football, Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
Running game and defense. Running game and defense. There you
Wear
go.
him down. Yep.
All
that's
right.
right.
Ravens, Bills.
Ravens.
Baltimore on the road, a 1-point favorite. The Bills have not lost at home this year.
I want a Ravens-Lions Super Bowl so bad. Like, that'd be so good for the NFL, for Lamar Jackson to get to the Super Bowl. And I think he does it. Give me Lamar.
I'm really torn on this. I've seen Buffalo win some games they had no business winning at home. Weather's not really a factor. They're both cold weather teams. Lamar, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Derrick Henry's had a beast of a year.
So good.
Until they lose at home, though, I can't pick against the Bills. Give me Buffalo in an upset at home.
Okay.
The undefeated home team is an underdog in this game, but I'll take them. We will finish up our Village Vice 6-pack plus 1 extra with basketball. Auburn, Georgia. We've already alluded to it. I'm taking Auburn to win. I'm taking Auburn. I don't even know what the line is.
I looked it up before we started. It doesn't seem to be out.
Yeah.
Yet. I would guess it's 9-ish, 10-ish is my guess. Auburn.
Yeah.
And I think that's about where I'm like, I don't know who I would pick because I think this is an 8 or 9-point win. So, but yeah, I think Auburn wins. I agree.
I don't know how much. Here's an interesting question. How much do they trail in this game? Because they trailed at South Carolina way more than I expected them to trail. And there's so many games this year where like beyond 2-0 or 4-3.
Yeah, they just
don't trail. Yeah.
I'll say that they trail at some point in the second half.
In the second half. Okay.
Sure. Or maybe early second half. I bet it's close at halftime. Sure.
I could see that. I could absolutely. Yeah. This is one of those gutted out final 10-minute type games.
Yeah, this is going to be tough until Auburn blows somebody out on the road. I just don't see.
Yeah.
I mean, they've kind of shown us what they've done on the road so far. And I think Georgia's better than Texas. And I think Georgia's better than South Carolina. So, yeah,
and it's
sure.
the Super Bowl. It's everybody's Super Bowl. It's everybody's biggest game. You have the number 1 team in the country
I
coming
hate
in.
that
You got a chance to
crap.
put the head on
I
the wall.
hate that crap. Oh, we're somebody's Super Bowl.
But it is.
Let's don't do that.
But it is, Zach. It's the number 1 team in the country. You're going to tell me you're not different when the number 1 team in the country comes in?
Sure. But the whole, like, let's don't do this. Let's don't do the whole, like, arrogance thing of, like, we're other people's Super Bowl. Let's just go in and beat them. Who cares? Who cares?
Well, that's fine. Look, I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had Coach Pearl on the show today. I thought it was Zach. I'm sorry. I thought this was Village Vice. I didn't know this was the Bruce Pearl show. I think the coaches and players can have
the nicest thing you've ever said to me is comparing me to the GOAT. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't necessarily think that it's because of the name, but I think the ranking. I think if Delaware State was ranked number 1 in the country, and they're coming into your place, you play differently. You know.
Just say it's the biggest game. Saying the Super Bowl stuff just drives me crazy.
So it's the Super Bowl thing itself. It's not.
I think so. It's like this, like, let's elevate this to something that it's not, is kind of where I'm at with it. So I don't know. It just bugs me. Our internet's gone. The internet connection's done. Brad, that does it for today's show. Okay, whatever.
Oh,
whatever.
No. All right. We will pick this up another time. Thank you for going to thebarnauburn.com. Go to thebarnauburn.com and be a part of the best message board community out there. Best place for Auburn information and discussion, thebarnauburn.com. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Have a great weekend. Remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.